It's 6:33, Charlotte. Why don't we start the meeting?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So tonight we'll do some of our normal monthly activities, reviewing the meeting minutes from September 8th, the monthly vouchers and the financial report, going over Matthew's director's report, and we've got a couple of other topics. One is sponsoring or suggested donations for sponsored events by the Friends, and the memorandum of understanding with the town manager, which the HR director would like us to finalize if we can. And they also changed the language that seems a little more palatable to us. So we're hoping to review that and hopefully approve it. Okay, the meeting minutes. Does anybody have any feedback for Charlotte?
Deb, you did, and I did correct the minutes. I had neglected to
Yep.
put a space between Matthew's first name and last name
Yep.
on number 3, so I did correct that. Thank you
Okay.
for that.
Anybody else have any feedback for Charlotte? Okay. Someone want to make a motion on the minutes? Judith? Okay. I saw your hand, so it's okay.
Yeah, I move that we approve the minutes as written.
I second.
Okay. Second was who?
Alicia.
Alicia, sorry. Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? I see Maureen. Hello.
Hi, I know my camera's not working.
That's all right. We at least know you're here. Okay, so let's vote. Lauren,
Hi.
Maureen,
Hi.
Fran. So we can't see you, Fran, so you'll have to unmute yourself if you want to vote.
Fran,
Her hand is up. I don't know, what does that
Oh,
mean? I
Maybe
actually don't
that's
know.
a problem.
Yeah, she must be having a problem.
She was
All right.
visible before.
All right, we'll pass over Fran, and if we get her back, we can record her vote. Judith,
Aye.
Alicia,
aye.
Charlotte,
Aye.
and I am an aye. So right now, we don't have Joe or Lori, right? Okay,
Right.
all right. I think Lori might join us for a bit by phone. She has a meeting conflict. Okay. The monthly vouchers. Does anyone have any questions for Matthew on the vouchers? Matthew, all the USPS, are those all passports? Is that right?
Yes,
Okay, that's what I thought.
everything we do with the post office. Well, every once in a while we buy a couple rolls of stamps for the library, but all the $11 and $22 ones, those are all passports.
Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Never mind.
Debbie, you're on mute. I don't think anyone could hear you.
Okay, well, that was fun. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyway, I got Matthew's answer. Does anyone have any questions for Matthew? If not, does someone want to make a motion on the vouchers?
I make a
Judith.
motion that
Oh, okay, go ahead.
we accept the financials as written.
Second,
The vouchers.
vouchers.
Okay. The vouchers. Okay, and Judith, did you second?
I did.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let us vote. Charlotte,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Judith?
Aye.
I think Fran is with us at the moment. Either that or I've got. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know if she's still there. Fran, can you hear us? Or can you speak, I guess? Okay. Maureen?
And this is Lori.
Aye.
I just joined the meeting by phone. Yeah.
Okay. We were just voting on the vouchers. Would you like to vote on the vouchers?
Yeah, I looked at everything. Yeah.
Okay. Maureen
Aye.
and Lauren?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, and I'm an aye, sorry. All right. Okay,
This
the
Fran?
financial report.
Can anybody see me?
Yes, now.
Okay,
I
I've
don't know
just-
why
I
don't know why
And you
cannot.
can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't see everyone. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right. Now I can see everyone. So, Lori, you're on the phone.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Maureen, so
Yeah.
did we lose Fran?
I don't see
No,
Fran.
she's here. She might not
Oh,
be on
she
your
is here?
screen space.
I can see her.
Oh.
Sorry, no.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't see her. Okay, sorry about that, Fran. I can't see you. Do you want to vote on the vouchers?
Yes. I
Okay.
just don't. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, there we go. Now I can hear you and see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
I have no
All
idea
right, so
what's
you
going
voted
on. I didn't
aye.
even press it.
You voted
I
aye
vote
on the
aye.
vouchers. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the financial report. Matthew, is there anything you want to tell us about it?
Expenses were a little light this month, mostly materials, a little bit of scattered office supplies. A big chunk of the materials was our magazine subscriptions for the year. That's that WT Cox invoice. But otherwise, no, things are going pretty well. They're right where we need to be at this point in the year.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Matthew? Okay, does someone want to make a motion on accepting the monthly financials?
Judith,
Okay,
I move we accept the monthly financials as presented.
okay. Someone want to second that?
I second Lauren.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any other discussion before we vote? Okay, all right, we're gonna start with you, Fran, because I can see you and hear you.
Are we voting now?
Yeah, you're first.
I'm first. Aye.
Okay. Lauren,
Aye.
Maureen,
Aye. Lost the camera
Lori,
again, no?
you're still here, right, Lori?
Yes, I am saying aye.
Okay. Bit of a craziness. Judith,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Charlotte,
Aye.
and I'm an aye as well. Okay. Speeding right along to the director's report. Looks like we had a bit of a record on Hoopla, is that right?
Yes, I'm actually watching that because a number of neighboring libraries have canceled their Hoopla subscriptions, and Boston Public Library used to offer it to all members of Massachusetts, and they canceled their Hoopla subscription as of the end of September. So we've already fielded a few requests from people that live in other towns that want a Upton Library card so they can get Hoopla. And unfortunately, that's one of the rare cases where I have to tell staff no. Just because your home library canceled something, that's not a good reason to come get an Upton Library card.
Oh,
So we're definitely seeing Hoopla usage go up, and that also means the cost goes up because it's one of the
Right.
few things. It's one of the few things we have that the more people that use it, the more it costs us.
oh.
Matthew, do you
okay.
have any, do you wonder why people are canceling? Do you have any information about that?
Yeah, there's two main reasons. One is price, because Hoopla tends to be a little bit expensive. And then the second is a number of librarians got very upset because Hoopla was allowing a lot of AI generated content on their platform. They weren't doing a really good job of sort of vetting. So basically, publishers would submit material and say, hey, Hoopla, you can license these ebooks and put them on your platform. And then it turns out they, were written by AI, didn't have an actual author. Maybe the content wasn't that great. So there was a little controversy. Hoopla obviously, responded and said, oh, we're going to implement better editing procedures and filter out this content. And but that was, I think that caused some libraries to, on top of the price, say, okay, we're
Yeah.
going to not subscribe anymore.
Do
But
we-
you haven't
oh.
thought of that, right?
No, I mean, my feeling is sort of let patrons, they're going to check out the things they want to check out. And, if they see a book and it looks like AI junk, they're not going to download it and read it. Hopefully I don't know how, there's some trigger, like, if you read like the first 10 pages and we get charged for it or something like that. But so instead of throwing out the entire resource, I'm hopeful that, patrons can decide for themselves whether they want to read the content or not. And then as librarians, right, what we can do is provide feedback to Hoopla and say, please, if you're going to have AI content, at least, vet it a little bit so it's not
Right.
just total junk.
Okay,
Do
good.
we have a rule about no out-of-towners for Hoopla?
So there's the CW Mars wide policy is that your library card should be associated with the town that you live in and pay taxes in.
Okay.
And it affects a few resources. And the only ones we have that really make a difference is Hoopla, Bookflix, and our news bank. And well, some of the Libby content that we purchase ourselves. So that's the general CW Mars policy is your library card should be associated with the town you live in. We do commonly make exceptions, people that work in Upton or go to school in Upton, we have a shared school system, people that come to a lot of our programs. So there, there's a number of Whitensville or Grafton residents that, we're an easier drive for them to get to. They use us as their primary library. Typically, I don't have a problem giving them an Upton barcode, which is what gets them access to those resources. Hoopla, I think, is and again, because, twice as many people using Bookflix, it costs us the same amount. Hoopla is one of the few things where it directly costs us more money. So that's one where, if someone comes up to the desk and say, hey, can I have an Upton library card because my home library canceled Hoopla, that's when staff are going to have to say, either no or let me ask the director, and then I can be the bad guy.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Anything else on this chart? Excuse me, on this chart section?
Yeah, I'll mention just so circulation obviously is down from last month. We're entering our sort of fall decline. August is always the peak, and then it sort of goes down until December and starts going up again. But we are 11% over September of last year, which is nice. I think that previous year comparison can be more valuable because it's apples to apples. Meeting room use has gone up a bit. We're seeing a lot of the quiet study rooms getting a lot more use. And then programs are pretty much the same. We actually were having openings now in baby story time and preschool story time. There are a number of months where those were all booked up and, we were using the wait list and people were really struggling to get in. Now they are, there's usually a few open spots, which it's good if you're coming in and you're looking for spaces in the program, but it also, it's nice when those programs are full.
That's good.
Yeah, we have some, I'm down to displays and exhibits now. We have some super interesting stuff going up in the display case. Actually, right now, it's just a resident who walked in and said he collects old things. And I didn't really have any idea what to expect, but he put it up and everything's labeled and he's got like, Roman coins that are 2,000 years old. He has some pottery that's 4,000 years old, and like cool stuff like that he's all, authenticated. So to come in and take a look, and then the next couple of months we've got some other stuff going in. So that's always nice to have that space being used by the community.
Great.
Before I go into the sort of narrative things, any questions on the programs or the statistics or all those rows of numbers? All right.
Okay.
So I don't remember if I announced formally to everyone, but I will be taking some vacation, actually starting Wednesday. I'm leaving and I'll be gone for about 10 days. So from the 8th to the 17th of this month, I will be gone. Michaela is handling most of the administrative stuff. Any facility emergencies will go to DPW director. I will be available by email if there's a real emergency, but that is that. We got some stuff done. Well, this is not really me. I didn't do it, but I'm just letting you know it happened. Some community center maintenance got done. The landscaping looks so much better now. Everything got weeded and mulched. And then I don't know if you noticed that the overhead grate for a number of weeks was, it wasn't retracting fully, so it was kind of hanging down a little bit near the senior center desk. That has gotten fixed. So some little repairs got done.
Does that include the playground?
Yes, the landscaping went all the way through the playground, everything that was growing over onto the sidewalks and stuff.
Okay. Great.
All right, strategic plan. So we talked about this last month and decided we were going to get some input from a townwide survey before actually moving forward with writing it. I have talked to the town clerk. She was definitely open to including our survey with the census, which will be good. That'll help us get a good response rate. She actually, the company that she's been using to send those out has decided they won't do small towns anymore. So she's actually looking for a new vendor. So we don't know the details on exactly how much it'll cost or when the deadlines are, but I'm sort of planning a either single-sided or double-sided one sheet of paper that'll get included. And the previous vendor was quoting like 13 cents per household, which is, obviously if we had to mail it ourselves, just mailing the thing would cost more than 13 cents a person. So it'll be much less expensive for us. And I think we'll get a better response rate. Amelia and I have started working on content. And like I said, I plan to keep that really simple. I hate collecting information that you don't plan on doing anything with. So I really want to keep it to, which of these services are most important. I want to ask about best ways of advertising. I'm not sure how to phrase that one yet, but I really want to get a chance to say, hey, if there's a library event, do you want to see it, in the mail? Do you want to see it in the newspaper? Do you want to see it on a website? And then I'll always leave just a general feedback section. And again, because it's going to people who may not be library users, be prepared to get some negative feedback. When we did I actually happened to look back at the public comments from when we did the building project, and some of the people that wrote back and said, libraries are a waste of money. I don't ever want to have a library, that sort of stuff. So some of that noise you just got to kind of filter out and look for the things that are actually, a productive suggestion is one thing, but I hate libraries. There's not much you can do with that. So that's the plan. So that would go out, with the census in January, and then, we'll have to take a little bit of time for them to come back and analyze the results, and then we can look at the results and pick, service roles that, which services we think are going to be best to focus on.
Okay.
When you send out and ask them for where they would like to see it advertised, I know you were having weird feelings about this, but can you at least include email to see if that's something that people prefer?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right. The state aid and certification financial report. So the all those statistics we did in August, that big long report, that's the first piece. And then the second piece is our actual state aid application, and that includes financial information. So that's been sent in. Debbie signed it on behalf of the trustees, and I've emailed that in. I did include the full document if anyone wants to look at it. The only thing that's unusual this year is we did have that whole situation where there was a supplemental appropriation. So when you look at the MBOC is actually really nice. So they let you use the higher number to meet the appropriation requirement, and then you can use the lower number as the materials expense requirement. I had to email them a few times because the report doesn't let you select those options. I had to kind of handwrite it in. But I've been in communication with them. They said when they review it, they'll look at those notes and they'll understand what's going on.
Okay.
Any questions on that form? Did anyone want to talk about anything on there or look at anything on there?
No?
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. It's
Yep. Okay.
usually it's just based on the budget. There's nothing interesting on it. All right.
Library.
Yeah, so this sort of gets at, I mean, Lori had sort of alluded to publicity methods, and Amelia and I have been working on. So we've had this Wowberry program, which essentially is a weekly email that we've had for many years. And what it does automatically is it pulls new items from the catalog and presents them, but it also has the capability to add news items and advertisements of your own. So it's not quite as robust as like MailChimp or Constant Contact or one of those things that's designed to be a newsletter, but it already exists and we can easily adapt it. So we sort of dipped my toe in that. I put some of the Friends fundraisers. I don't know if everyone signed up for those or if you saw them.
Yep.
But we did some experiments just to see how the formatting would look. And we think it's going to work pretty well. So Amelia's going to make content for that starting in November. She's going to make a weekly roundup extracted from the monthly calendar. So we'll put that in. So we have at least one news item every week. And then if there's any other special events or Friends events or fundraisers that are going on, we can drop them in there. And then once I get back at the end of October, beginning of November, then we'll start doing a push for getting more people to sign up. I wanted to wait until we were generating interesting content before we started pushing everyone. So November, we think we're going to start that. And it's got a lot of advantages. People can maintain their own subscriptions. If emails get bounced back, they don't come to Leanne and I, they get dealt with by Wowberry. Everything's private and protected. So the email addresses that are used are kept confidential and things like that. So it's sort of one step. I don't think we have the capacity to do like a weekly full-fledged newsletter, but this is kind of one step in between where it's an way people can get information by email.
Matthew, I have a question about Wowberry. I used to be signed up for it, and I used to get emails, but I just did a quick search, and I haven't got a Wowberry update of the new things from the collection in a very, very, very long time, like years.
Yeah, I wonder if you used did you change your email address or something? Because mine, I noticed mine dropped off too. I had to go back onto Wowberry and resubscribe because I wasn't getting them either. So I think it may have like an inactivity kind of thing where it takes people off if you don't actually click on it or if you change your email. So that's why we'll have to do a push to make people aware that we have it and we're going to actively use it and you should sign up for it.
Really, yes. And so how did you sign back up for it?
There's a website you go to, it's wowberry.org, and then you put in your zip code.
Okay.
'Cause
Because I
right
feel like I
now-
got it through the library.
Yeah, so right now, the only way we really tell people about it is when you sign up for a library card, we
Oh.
have a little line on the application that says, would you like to sign up for Wowberry?
Hmm.
And then it is on our website. Wowberry has a little widget. So if you kind of scroll all the way down on our website, there's like a little
Right.
scrolling widget that shows new items. If you click on that, it takes you to Wowberry. So once we're pushing to sign people up, Amelia will make some QR codes and we'll say, here's how, here's where you go to sign up.
Yep. Good. Do some signage. Do some social media pushes. Try to get that up.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone
that's
have
my
any feedback from Matthew on Wellberry or using that format for a quasi newsletter?
And that we got rid of email. There's no more email coming from the library.
oh,
So, I mean, I don't know if we want to get into a long discussion of this, but Leanne had a list of email addresses that she created during COVID when we suddenly had to switch to all virtual programs. And she created it sort of in a hurry it was basically just her personal contacts that she made an email group out of. And she'd been kind of maintaining it now that we were running again. But almost all the functions of that have now been replaced. She was using it to say, hey, if story time was canceled or something, she'd send an email to that list. We now do that through Assabet registration functions. And she was doing it for a few announcements. So that's what she has stopped sending things out to.
Oh.
And actually, in the last 4 months, she only had sent 5 emails to that list. So, I mean, I feel like it's kind of there's been some reaction to that that's made it seem like, oh, we're closing off this important source of information for people. And it's really not. It's just some listservs that Leanne made during COVID that are no longer serving their purpose that we're going to stop using.
I think
Okay.
my concern is with every year we perhaps a goal for you to expand our marketing and figure out how to reach more people. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, even though we're losing this one thing.
Yeah, there were a number of issues with that system. First of all, as I said, it was linked to Leanne's personal email contacts.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way to subscribe and unsubscribe. She has to add people to it manually.
Yeah.
It's kind of hit or miss. It was very redundant, right? So if she was sending out an announcement that something about story time, okay, she'd also have to send that to the people registered because not everyone registered was on the email list and vice versa. So some people were getting 2 notices and some people were not getting any. So it was not a good system, and it needs to be replaced.
When she, every single month, she sends out a list of links of all the programs that are coming up. Does that go, was that to that email list or is that separate? Because that was
No.
a really good thing.
You may be seeing the emails that went out through the school system because she does send a monthly email through the school system. As I said, the particular email list we're talking about, in the last 4 months, she's only sent 5 emails to it. 2 of them were reminders to sign up for programs. She does not send a monthly calendar out on this email list. 2 of them were reminders to sign up for programs. 1 was only about teen book group, and 2 were about non-library programs. She was promoting some things other libraries were doing.
I'll find a copy of one of those emails and we can see where that goes. It must be something different. Okay, thank you.
So Matthew, with Wellberry, what limitations, if any, do you have? Do you have a specific area that you have to stay within? Can you only post 2 things, 3 things? What are the parameters?
Yeah, let me bring one up. I'll share the one that just came out last week. We can have as many news items as we want, but obviously the more of them that you have, the more
Sure.
content you put on there, the less any one thing stands out.
Yeah.
We have limited control over the formatting.
Okay.
We can't totally change, the format, and we found that we can change the order our news items appear, but the top line is always newest items at the library. So we couldn't get our news items right at the top. But let me bring up the most recent one so we can all look at it. Let me find the fastest way to get that is probably through my email. Because yeah, I had to resubscribe for some reason. But now I've gotten the last two.
Did you say you can change the order of what you present?
Yes. So
Okay.
like every news item we can add, we can change the order. Here,
Okay.
I just brought it up. Let me share
Okay.
this. I just want to get it out of my email if I can. Click for mobile view. There we
I
go.
mean, since we're already paying for this, I mean, this is a good way to explore getting the word out. Of course,
Yeah,
300 people isn't enough, but we've got to, we can move on that to
yeah,
increase that.
it's got a lot of capabilities. We've always just sort of used it as the little widget on the website and the basic
Yeah.
newsletter.
Oh.
But so this is the Wildberry newsletter. So what we can't do is like take this sidebar away or change this top bar.
Yeah.
And the first item is always going to be right here. This is going to be top choices for new items. But then what we can control, so this obviously about the book sale, this was a news item that we dropped in. And so right here so now we're getting into more new items. Our news items can go any order we want in between, before these
Okay.
new items. So, and then the other nice thing about this is once you're in it, you can scroll through previous weeks and next week's. So you get this in
Oh.
your email, and then when you click on it, so I got this in my email, I clicked on it, and then it opened the link. So now I can go, this is the September 24th one. So this is kind of the other format. So we can do that sort of text. So this is another thing we dropped in. So we can drop in a whole full-size flyer. So this was kind of the experimenting Amelia and I did, is that we can
Yeah.
have, a little image with some text, or we can have a big image. And then so we can add a couple things there.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Did you say the top item is a Wildberry item and then
Yeah.
other things below that can be what we drop in?
Yeah, so we couldn't
Right.
figure out how to get this week's top choices. So we can't get the spring bulbs above the top choices, but we can get it
Yeah.
above everything else.
Okay.
So if we had a second news item, it could go underneath here before this. So all these other little items are new items we added. And actually this week, so on the side here, it categorizes all the new items. We only actually added two items this week. So all it has is one children's book, one large print, and then our news item.
Okay.
So I couldn't get this right. We wanted to get this right at the top. So
Yeah.
this thing, this top choice is always going to be at the
Their
top. So
book.
this time it was,
Yeah.
and this is what it looked like. So this is before we were adding things. So you'll see there's no news items.
Right,
It's
it's
just
all
all
books.
new
Yeah.
items.
Right.
So what we're going to do is Amelia is making, these come out every week. They come out Wednesday mornings. So Amelia's going to make a standardized graphic where she's going to put like a weekly roundup. So that's always going to be here. So we'll always have at least one thing. And then any special events or advertising or, friend fundraisers can go either after it or before it, because we can change the order of those.
Okay. Well, it's a good place to start. I like it. I mean, it has limitations, but it's free, it's included in what we were already paying for. So why don't we try that? Go for a marketing campaign to get signups and see where we go.
Right.
From
And it's
there.
really nice that, we don't have to worry about collecting the emails or, if somebody changes their email or closes their account or it goes to spam, we don't have to worry about any of that. It's all
Right,
it's all handled through Wildberry.
okay.
What is Amelia's job title?
Amelia is
don't remember.
our graphic design and marketing specialist.
Is that a full-time position?
No, that it's 14 hours a week.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or feedback on Wildberry for Matthew? And you said hopefully it'll go live in November, according to your report, right?
Yeah, Amelia is definitely, I just talked to her today, so she's going to be ready to start putting weekly news items in starting in November. So we can make a push, right at end of October, beginning of November. Well, then we'll start we'll sign up for Wildberry all over the place.
Good. Okay. Great. Next, advertising fundraisers and events.
Yeah, so that was it. I that's the end of my director's report. I saw the agenda item about that, and I wasn't entirely sure how the discussion was going to go, but I did. If it's what I think it is, and you want to modify the policy to
Yes.
allow library staff, so I did drop in some suggested wording. The one policy that was really kind of restricting some of the things that we wanted to do was that, event advertisement policy. So I did put in some suggested wording that we could change if you want. That would allow us to do more active publicity for Friends of the Library events,
Friends.
whether they charge admission or not. So it's
Right.
never been an issue of, there's never been a question of, are the Friends allowed to charge admission for an event? The
Right.
only question has been, if they charge admission, can we publicize it for them? And this was the policy that was preventing that. So
Okay.
I don't know if that was the point of the discussion or if there was another part of the discussion that needed to happen.
Well, I think, some of it was sort of a philosophical, should all library programs be free just as a philosophy? So some people were discussing it in that way. But thank you for putting the language together, because I really do want to get an opinion from everyone on where they stand, just not numbers, not, just do you think that it's okay for the Friends to charge for events or have a suggested donation? And, how do you feel about it? Fran, start with you.
Well, I think it's all right. I'm considering that they're fundraising for the library. That the money they take in is for the library, so it makes sense to me that they'd be allowed to charge.
Okay. All right, Judith?
I feel the same. That makes sense.
Okay.
I agree. I think as a fundraising entity, that, yeah, we should allow it. I think maybe, though the type of fundraiser they're using, we want to consider too. I mean, I don't want to have to vote on everyone, but
Yeah,
I guess I just want, it should be aligned with the philosophy of the library.
right,
Mhm.
right. So if they want to have I don't even want to mention anything that might be politically incorrect, but say they were having an event that some of us might think was politically incorrect, but I assume that they would
Or
have some
detrimental to
discussions
the
with
library.
Matthew and us, and, if they know that something could be
Controversial.
right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Alicia?
I think it's fine, that they ask for that as well.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Lauren?
I would agree. I'm fine with looking for donations.
Okay. And Charlotte? I think
No.
Lori left us, so I think all we have left is Charlotte.
Yes, I totally agree.
Okay. And I definitely agree. Because we can have better, bigger, better, more programs, the more money that they can raise for us. So, you know, I think that's a good idea. Okay, so,
So Debbie, before you
yeah,
vote, I just do want to make the point that there is a difference between the library event that the Friends are providing funding for. So that would be like the summer reading kickoff. It is a library event that we request funding from the Friends. There are some subtle differences between that and an event that is hosted by the Friends of the Library that the library provides some support to. So
right,
I don't think they've
Yeah.
actually held one yet. They've talked about it. I think they're planning one maybe coming up for the fall.
right.
So there are some subtle differences.
Yeah, my question was definitely the second thing you just said, which
Yes.
is they want to put on I don't know, a hop, a dance hop. I don't know. I can't think of anything, but a dance hop. And it's going to be, you know, a $5 suggested donation. And it's strictly, you know, recreational, and it's, you know, they're going to be raising money, and this money is going to go to the Friends of the Library. That's the kind of, I think that's what, hopefully that was the question I asked everyone. If everyone has a different opinion, let me know. But I think that's what I'm trying to get feedback on, to see if we can, you know, we're not gonna vote on anything now because it sounds like we need to change this policy, right? So, right? Matthew?
Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that
Yep,
so there's some subtle differences in how things are organized. We advertise them slightly differently. You know,
Mhm.
one gets the community event tag, a library event doesn't. There might be some differences in, you know, who gets put as the contact email if people have questions, that sort of stuff. So what I don't want, I want to make sure library staff, mostly me, have the ability. I wouldn't want the Friends to ask for donations at a library event that they paid for, right? Like I
Yeah.
would say no to the Friend. Like if the summer reading kickoff, they write a check, the library plans it,
Right.
it's a library event. I
Of
would say
course.
no, that's not appropriate. They
Yeah.
have a table there with their pamphlets and their membership
Yeah.
information,
Yeah,
but we're not going to ask for entrance donations at
No.
that event.
Right,
Um,
yes,
Whereas if they bring in a performer and they pay for it and they do the planning and it's marketed as a Friends of the Library hosted event, then yeah, they could even sell tickets if they wanted to.
right,
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure there was a distinction
Okay.
there and that we're comfortable with me saying, no, this is a library event. Thank you very much for paying for it, but we're not going to use it as a fundraising opportunity.
right. Like the
Yeah.
drum circle, right? That is a library
Yes.
program. So you would not be, you would not want to charge families, again, $5 to participate in the drum circle. That's a library program that they're paying for with the fundraising money, hopefully. I mean, that's kind of how how it should go, right?
Correct.
That's what you're talking about,
Right.
like the drum circle too.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. I just want to
Okay.
make that there is a difference.
Yep.
There's
Mhm.
between
Yeah.
library events that the Friends pay for and Friends events that the library helps them with.
Okay, got it.
All right. So
All right.
if you did want to take action tonight, so we do have this policy. It's the event advertisement policy. When we moved to the community center, it used to be just a library policy. When we went to the community center, the senior center liked it. So the Board of Selectmen actually approved the same thing to cover the senior center. So that's why the wording covers both Friends of the Library and Friends of Upton Seniors.
Okay,
So if you like that, so what that would allow us to do is advertise through library resources,
yeah,
Friends fundraising events. I'd
right,
actually technically, you know, according to the current policy, I shouldn't have posted that bulb sale thing,
right,
but I did because
Yeah.
I think I knew where we were headed with this discussion.
yeah,
So if
Okay.
we vote to adjust that policy, that would then allow library resources to be used to publicize any Friends of the Library or Friends of Upton Seniors fundraisers. Probably because it was approved by the Board of Selectmen at some point. Probably at some point, I would then have to take this, talk to Tanya about how we then present it to the Board of Selectmen, and there's no town manager, so things are not moving
Right.
quickly through that. But if
Yeah.
I think we're okay approving it as a library policy, acting on it. Like no one's going to come back to us and say, "Hey, the Board of Selectmen
Okay.
didn't approve this, so you're not allowed to do that." But at some
Okay.
point in the next, 3 to 6 months, it
Okay.
probably would go to the Board of Selectmen for their approval.
All right, so does anyone, so it looks like removing the word only from the line that you've listed and then adding one new line to the policy. Are those the two changes?
Yes. Would you like me to share the existing policy
Sure.
so you can see exactly? All right.
Yeah.
I did pull that up. Let me
Thank
share my
you.
screen again. So this is actually on our website. It's at the bottom of the meeting room use policy. So we get into this. Sorry, I scrolled up here. This event advertisement section. So this has a lot of restrictions because, if somebody uses it for a, political rally, we don't want them to say, hey, you have to advertise my,
Right.
protest rally because it says you do. So the first thing is this word only consider. I think if we just strike that,
Really?
that means we're not restricted because this event does not charge admission. That's where we run into problems. So if we take out only, and then to
Yeah.
even be more explicit, if we add another line right down here with that
Okay.
wording that says events or fundraisers, hosted by those two groups, the Friends of the Library or Friends of Upton out seniors are always eligible.
Okay.
And I think the wording that way, it still allows the library director to say no, just because they're eligible to be advertised doesn't mean we have to advertise them.
Right.
But the way the policy is now, we can't advertise them even
You
if we
can't.
wanted to.
Right. Okay. All right. Does anyone feel comfortable making a motion on removing the word only and adding a bullet that says fundraisers and events sponsored by the Friends of the Upton Library or Friends of the Upton Seniors are always eligible for publicity? Does anyone
Oh, my
care
God.
to do that? I
Wait,
know Charlotte,
there's something about the word always that makes me, I don't know exactly what bothers me about it, but I wonder if you could change that to those organizations may be eligible.
Well, so that's where my point
It's-
was, that just because they're eligible doesn't mean it's always granted, right? Because you are eligible to apply for something doesn't mean
Yeah,
you're
but
always going to get it.
I think that maybe eligible means the same thing. That's just the always. I don't know why. it
well, we're
bothers me.
taking only out though.
Yeah.
No,
So
only
the
is
reason I
fine,
put
but
the
that's-
always in is because it's under this
always.
list of criteria. So I had to make it clear that
Sorry.
this category of events, Friends of the Library events, override these restrictions. So
Yeah.
even if it violates one of these restrictions, it's always eligible.
Oh, I guess
Okay.
it doesn't seem clear to me.
Well, it's
Maybe-
eligible, so it's not a slam dunk that they're gonna do it. It's eligible to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if we
I
drop
understand that.
always and we just say eligible, we're going to be back to the problem. Well, sure, it's eligible, but it doesn't meet this criteria. Right. That's
Yeah.
Well, if it doesn't bother anybody else, then you can let's just move
Okay.
on.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion on it? I think we still have enough people here. I know Charlotte had to step
I
out.
make a motion,
Who is that?
Alicia, I make a motion that we approve the verbiage as written and take out only.
And add that bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is in Matthew's director's report. Okay. Someone want to second that?
I second.
Okay, thank you, Maureen. All
Um,
right, okay.
Can I just ask, is that you said that is in the director's report, the sentence?
Yes,
Okay,
sorry. Oh, you're back. Sorry.
I'm back. Yeah,
I can't see you.
I
I've
just
got
had to
an icon in front of your face. Sorry about
Oh.
that.
No,
Okay, good.
my grandson is turned 2 today and they live in North Carolina and he FaceTimed and I said, I can't like not,
Yeah.
talk to him. So thank you for indulging me
Of
that.
course. I guess, so you know what the motion is, to remove the word only and add a bullet, which is on Matthew's director's report. And we've got Alicia who made the motion and Maureen who seconded it.
Got it. Thank you so much. I got it.
Okay, all right. Any other discussion? Okay, Lauren,
I don't know. I'm okay with removing only. I'm still fuzzy about the always as well.
okay, what would you do
So I
there?
guess, so Matthew, if they came to you and said they wanted to publicize something, but you were iffy on it, are you the yes or the no?
Yes. So the final paragraph there says, at the discretion of the library director, an event meeting all criteria can be publicized in press releases. And then it actually says, if the group doesn't like my decision, they can appeal to the town manager. So there is a catch-all, because I could imagine an event, whether it was from the Friends of the Library or not, that met all of the criteria, but still wasn't something that I felt the library should be advertising. I've never had to make that call. But yes, there is a catch-all. So again, in my reading of it, if you can think of a better wording, great. But in my reading of the always eligible means that even if it doesn't meet any of the preceding 6 criteria, it becomes eligible. And
Why
then
don't we just say that?
anything that's eligible then is up to the discretion of the library director.
Could we maybe add the phrase?
Will
If-
always be considered for publicity? I mean, I don't know.
What's the
I don't know.
catch for you, Lauren?
Always and eligible.
Okay. So do you think that they should be always eligible, or are you thinking this doesn't describe what Matthew wants to do?
Yes, that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
So-
it's giving them a lot of range, but I guess if you say no, I mean, they got to go to the town manager if they don't agree with you, but
I mean, I'm okay with, so we do use the phrasing consider publicizing. I mean, that is used earlier in the policy. So if we changed, I think always is important. Because the point of the always is it overrides all the stuff above. So would always consider publicizing be better than always be eligible?
Oh. Lauren, what do you think about always be eligible? It's the always you got the problem with, though. So
yeah, I mean, I hate to be the only person to not
Nope.
pass this. So
Fran had a problem with it also. So that's not, don't worry about that. Just if we can come up with wording that the two of you might be happy with, and
And
Matthew would be happy with, obviously.
yeah, I mean, I just knowing a little bit of the history, I just don't want this to be in there and then they kind of walk all over you and they just publicize everything and they go after you. So I mean, if you have the final say and then if they don't like it, there's criteria in here to say that they go to the town manager. I think I'm okay with that as long as you're getting that yay or
Well,
nay.
I mean,
Matthew, can you put the policy back up again?
yeah.
That way
And
we can read it again.
If it would make everyone feel like we had more control, I'm definitely okay with changing the word eligible to consider publicizing. Right? So this is the existing policy. So it says, if you meet these 6 criteria, we will consider publicizing it. So essentially what I wanted to add a line that says, basically what I'm getting at is if you are the Friends of the Library or Friends of Upton Seniors, we will consider publicizing it even if it doesn't meet one of these. And
Right.
the only one it's not going to meet is this one.
We're treating them differently. That's
Yes.
essentially what we're
Okay.
trying to do, is
Yes.
treat them differently.
So they get to not meet all these criteria. But so this discretion of the library director is actually linked to events meeting all criteria can be publicized. That's why, so in my head, that's why I picked the word eligible, because that means it can be presented. I don't have to say no, but I also don't have to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem is we were running into this one.
Yeah.
And I was in the position where, like, wait a minute, I'm not allowed to advertise this thing that you want to do because the policy doesn't give me any, it doesn't meet this criteria.
I see. Okay.
So what if we said, I'm going to flip back to,
Yeah.
this is what
No,
I had said.
After more, I think I'm okay then with the always eligible after you explain that breakdown a little bit more.
What if we did, so I don't mind your wordsmithing a little bit. What if we did, instead of are always eligible, what if we put can always be considered for publicity? That is way watered down. So it's a can. So that's an option right there. And then considered, right? So clearly, if it can be considered, the answer can be no.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds better to me.
Same.
So we like this version better than,
How
Okay.
about may?
okay.
May is more grammatically
May always,
correct than
yeah, sure.
can.
Yeah, man, that's good.
And it's
Okay.
physical may is permission.
Okay. What do we think of that? Fran?
I'm okay with that one.
Can you read
Okay.
it one more time? We've changed it so much, I'm a little lost.
Yep.
Yeah, so after the list of criteria, we're going to add a new line that says fundraisers and events sponsored by the Friends of the Upton Town Library or Friends of Upton Seniors may always be considered for publicity.
Yeah, no, I think I'm back to the same problem. I think you should just take out always.
There
The
wasn't an
problem
always
is-
there, wasn't.
The reason I'm
Just
hung
take
up on
out
the
the word
always is
always.
without the always, it doesn't change anything because the always is what allows us to override this. So
Yes,
we
it
could
just doesn't
say,
sound like that's what you're saying. Doesn't sound to me like you've explained that in that additional sentence.
all right, so I mean, I didn't want to be this explicit, but we could say that don't meet all criteria
Will be.
may be considered for all criteria. I don't know how to spell criteria. CRITERI.
IA.
Does that feel better? It takes the word always out. So now we've got events, funders and events sponsored by blah, 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 that don't meet all criteria may still be considered or may be considered.
Well. Yeah, because I mean, it sounds, I don't know, it sounds iffy now. I'm worried that the friends will think that we're reserving the right to, say
Well, we are
no.
reserving the right to say no.
Well,
if
yeah,
they bring
but
me
it-
something and I say, hey, you know what? I've got too many other
Right.
things going on that week. I can't fit you in.
For
Too bad.
sure. But I'm wondering if they're gonna think it's, sort of may or may not be considered, even if you're not so busy. But, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I think having the word still is helpful.
Yeah,
Still be considered for publicity.
Yeah, I just want to give it that edge. Those
Mhm.
two groups should have some sort of edge
Mhm.
Some
without
extra, yeah.
without you having to approve it, but just they need to have some edge over other groups
Mhm.
is really
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
think we're trying to do. Um,
Mhm.
so Fran, what do you think about that?
I'm wondering if it needs another line to explain it. Maybe we're trying to be too much to the point and say it all in one sentence when it really needs two sentences.
But this pretty much spells it out. It says if you don't, even if you don't meet those 6 criteria, you're still eligible for publicity.
Mhm.
So that it should explain it
Well, I
well
think at
enough.
this point, I am confused and I shouldn't even make any suggestions anymore because it is not clear to me.
Okay. All right, so I guess I will strike the motion that we just had and start again. Does anyone want to make a motion on the new wording that Matthew just presented, that new last sentence?
I think it clarifies the situation. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Judith,
Yeah,
Judith, do you want to make the motion or? No.
Yes, I move that we accept the additional sentence at the end of this,
Yep. This version.
this version. Thank you.
I know. The wording as updated during our meeting. How's that, Charlotte?
That's perfect.
I got it.
Okay. Does someone want to second that?
I'll
I
second.
second.
I don't know who the other, was that Maureen first, did I hear?
Yes,
Okay,
doesn't matter though.
yeah. All right. Okay, all right. Any other discussion? Okay, Charlotte,
Aye.
Alicia,
I, I,
Judith,
Aye.
Fran? You don't have to vote for it if you don't like the wording, so don't feel pressured to, if you still don't like it, vote how you want to vote.
All right, then can I abstain?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Maureen
Aye.
and Lauren.
Aye.
Okay. And Lori's not here, right? So she's not back. Okay. And I am an aye as well. Okay. All right. So, I think we really covered number 6, the suggested donation. I think when I went around and did sort of a poll, I think everyone agreed that we're okay with a suggested donation or a fee for fundraising events. Anybody disagree? And I didn't catch it. Okay.
Deb
with
did everyone, was that unanimous that
Well,
everyone
we
kind of
didn't
agreed?
really take a vote. It was more, I wanted to know where everybody stood on it because this language, I mean,
Okay.
well, this language doesn't affect it. That's publicity, but I really just want to get an idea of where people stand on it. I mean, I guess we could take a vote on it since we are agreeing with the Friends. I don't know. Anyone have any advice on whether we should take a vote on this?
Well, you went around to each of us and asked, we all
Yeah, I
agreed
thought we
it
already
would be
did.
okay. Is it necessary to take a vote?
I don't think so. I don't really think
No.
the trustees have the authority to.
No.
I mean, if you didn't want them to, it might be important to take a vote because that would be
Right.
sending them a message saying,
Right.
please don't do this on our behalf. But
And
just-
Charlotte, you can put in the minutes that we had a discussion and everyone in attendance was generally in favor of of the Friends charging or having a suggested donation.
Okay, yeah, I got, thank you.
You
That's
know
all
what
I
I mean?
needed. Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
All right.
I mean, I think if you wanted to allow them to collect donations at library events, then I think that might take a vote.
Right.
But as of right now, we are no, if it's a library event that the Friends pay for, then they can say, we're the Friends of the Library, here's our Venmo page, but they can't sit at a table and say, please give me $5 when you walk in.
Right.
If it is a Friends event that is not organized by the library, then they can do whatever they want. They can sell tickets, they can ask for $100 at the door, whatever they want.
Yes.
Okay. As long as everyone is clear that that's our intent and everyone likes that distinction, I don't think we need a vote, and I'm happy with that.
Okay. And Charlotte, can you put that in the minutes also? That distinction between library programs that the Friends fund versus fundraisers that the Friends hold.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Okay, memorandum of understanding. So, I mean, Matthew can give you sort of a background, but the HR director sort of came to him and suggested that she wanted to have this memorandum of understanding in place prior to the new town manager being appointed, so that it's kind of settled and we don't have to reopen it. Well, I guess it could be reopened, but we're hoping that it will be settled and the new town manager will simply adopt whatever memorandum of understanding is agreed to. So, and the HR director also made some changes to 3C, that make it a little more clear as to who Matthew works for and what his responsibilities are. So I think one of our bigger objections was fixed. And Matthew, you can give us your opinion, but it sounded when you and I talked that this was acceptable to you.
Yeah, so we've gone through, they're calling this their draft 5B. By my count, it's more than that. We've gone back and forth a number of times, and there's always been some language that could be interpreted to say, a couple times there was language about the town manager being able to like discipline the library director. That's come out. Then they went with this administrative supervision. Like, what's an administrative supervisor? That's come out in this latest draft. That was a real sticking point. So I think this draft, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it actually spells out that the trustees retain all the sort of core authority. You are the policy setting body. I think the fact that it's explicitly says the trustees are the hiring authority for the library director, because hiring authority triggers a whole bunch of things in the personnel policies and procedures manual. I think that's really important to have in there. It makes it clear that you guys do my performance evaluation, you set my goals, you do my annual review.
Right.
You have a role in the hiring process that's spelled out. And at this point, it also, let me pull up my version. You guys can have authority over the library director's job description, and it basically tells the town manager that he has to support the library trustees without taking really any authority. It doesn't talk about the budget at all in here, but that's okay because this is a clarification of the Town Manager Act, and the Town Manager Act itself explicitly preserves the budgeting process of the library to the trustees. The wording in the Town Manager Act says the library director shall directly or indirectly report to the town manager. So the reason we're writing this whole other document is because we said, well, what does report to mean, right? Does that mean I work, report to in a business term is really like a management kind of thing. It's really a lot of authority. I could argue that report to just means I send them a copy of my monthly report. Here you go. I've reported something to you. So this whole thing is just to clarify that one phrase in the Town Managers Act. And I think we've finally it's pretty specific. It's pretty clear. We've removed a lot of the vague stuff. It's at a point where I don't hesitate to recommend this. I think it sort of reflects the reality that already exists. The restrictions it puts on us were sort of already there. Yes, if the Board of Selectmen passes a policy that applies to all town departments, like when COVID hit and they said, okay, everyone has to wear a mask, the library director isn't allowed to just say, nah, that doesn't apply to me. So there are town-wide things, the personnel policies and procedures manual. I can't decide that I'm going to do overtime differently than every other department does overtime. But those are all things that even without this document, we're bound by those anyway.
I have one question about it though, and it doesn't address termination of the library director. Who's responsible for that?
Yeah, that is bundled into hiring authority. So that phrase hiring authority is referenced in the personnel policies and procedures manual is this whole long thing that covers all, and it says, the hiring authority is responsible for discipline and termination. Now there are caveats in there. The town manager is allowed to, regardless of this memo, is allowed to act in some sort of emergency situation. Like, if I go off the handle and like physically assault a patron or something, like the town manager can show up and say, hey, this is not okay. You got to go home. I'm going to call Debbie. They don't have to wait for a board of trustees to vote to do some. So that's sort of, and honestly, not that exact scenario, but there has been times in the past when the town manager had to take immediate action to resolve a disciplinary situation for a department head. So, but to actually say, hey, your performance is lousy and we're not going to renew your contract, that's the library responsibility of the library trustees, not the town manager.
Good.
Does anybody have any questions about the memorandum of understanding with the town manager? Okay, I like the silence. Perfect. Does someone want to make a motion on accept or voting to, what is it, approve it, I guess?
Yes, I'd say approve the memorandum of agreement.
I move we approve the memorandum of understanding between the library and the town manager, the Town Manager Act.
This is version, you said 5B?
Yes.
From their perspective. So Charlotte, I guess you can put 5B just to make sure that it has the right version in it.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they've given us back and forth. So if they call it 5B, we probably should just have that in our record.
And isn't this between, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I thought I'd written down that it was between the select board and the library trustees.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Yeah, I know. I've lost track of who the heck it is. You're right. It's the select board.
It has to do with the town manager.
It's the Town Manager Act, right?
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, does someone want to second that?
Second, Judith, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All right. Let's vote. Alicia.
Aye.
Charlotte.
Aye.
Judith.
Aye.
Fran.
Aye.
Maureen.
Aye.
Lauren.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well.
Can I ask
Right.
one question?
Sure.
So Matthew, do you expect that the selectmen will accept this as it is now?
I hope so. So yeah, thanks for asking, because I was going to mention the next steps. So from now, I will now tell the HR director that the library trustees have voted to approve it. Then she will presumably put it on a select board agenda, because they now have to approve it.
Okay.
I don't know whether they will sometimes, just like, you guys had discussions, sometimes somebody catches a word that they want to talk about, and sometimes they just say, oh, all the staff like it, so we like it.
Right. Yeah.
So the HR director has said it's okay because she's the one that sent us this draft. She
Oh.
did run it past the interim town manager, and the interim town manager said he didn't have any edits or concerns with it. So I hope it'll just be, here it is on the agenda, everyone's in agreement, they vote, they sign, we're done. But it could turn into a discussion. So when I will sort of keep an eye on when it goes on the agenda and give you a heads up. So if anyone does want to attend that meeting, just in case there's a question, I'm usually happy to be the spokesperson. Sometimes the Board of Selectmen like to hear directly from the
Yep.
elected officials instead of from the staff person. So if you
Yep.
wanted to, you can call into those by Zoom. So, you
Right.
might sit there in silence and they don't discuss anything, or they might say, hey, there's a library trustee member in the audience. Let's ask them about this. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Any topics that were not anticipated? Does anybody have anything they want to bring up?
Yeah, I'm still working on the laminate thing. I'm in talks with 2 different laminate companies for the library stuff. And then the other thing, I did notice that Demco is having 25% off all their library products that you use right now. You're on mute, Matt.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
case there's anything you need right now, they're 25% off like all of the products that you use that you sent me.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't send me an email when they start those sales. So yeah, I'll definitely look and see, because this stuff doesn't go bad. So, if you can get it
No.
on sale, go ahead and get it. So thanks for working on that. I mean, warn your companies that we don't order large quantities of this stuff.
It's
It's
not.
like,
I'm trying to actually just create like a whole nother brand so we can like outdo Demco. I'm trying to like rep it as another brand.
well, I mean, you can tell them if their quality is good and their prices are competitive, they could also market it to other libraries, because
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Right.
all of us use this stuff and none of us like Demco because they've bought out all their competitors, and we struggle. Their prices have gone up exponentially in the last couple of years.
I only know this space because my grandfather worked in it for like 30 years. So,
Oh,
but yeah. Anyways,
Good for us.
just wanted to let you know I was still working on it.
Yeah, great, awesome, thank you so much.
Great.
Okay. Great. Anything else? So our next meeting is November 10th, and so Veterans Day is November 11th. So the 10th is okay, Matthew, right?
Yeah, no conflicts for me.
Okay. I mean, in terms of, I don't know, being closed or anything. Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned at 7:51.
Excuse me,
Yep.
Deb.
Yep.
Yeah, this is Lisa Burnett. I've been here, and I just
Oh, Lori,
wanted to,
sorry.
No, this is Elisa
Elisa.
Burnett.
Oh, it
I
is
could
Elisa.
only, yeah,
I
I could
can't tell
only
because
join by phone.
there's no voice. I mean, there's
I
a voice,
know,
but no
I
picture.
know. I could only join by phone, unfortunately. But I did want to report that we were able at the Heritage Day Festival to the book sale to raise $1,700 for library programs.
Yay.
Great. That's
Great.
wonderful.
Good.
Great.
very good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
Thanks.
Great.
Anything else you want to tell us, Elisa? Sorry, I didn't know you were there. I couldn't tell.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Any other boxes that I have not noticed on the screen? Okay, so we
All
are
right.
adjourned at 7:52, Charlotte.